Today, we are going to talk about one of a very important aspect of psychology, that is humanistic psychology. Most of you would be aware of a fact that humanistic psychology is one of a very important branch of psychology, and it is basically concerned with the study of individual as a whole. Let me talk about that if an individual is going to perform a task, we are not going to see into that only task in isolation if we are looking forward toward that action in terms of a humanistic therapy. We will see the intention behind doing that task. We will see what would be the motivation behind doing that action and what would be the hierarchy of doing different actions and needs of that human being which he is doing one after another. We will not going to see the actions into isolation, but we are going to see them as a whole, and focuses of an individual's natural drive towards his self actualization, realizing and expressing one's own creativity and capability. For example, if you are going to give a similar task to different individual and give them an option to do that into their own way, we will find that everyone is going to perform that thing into a different way which is according to its own capabilities and its own creativity. So you see that humanistic psychology look at human behavior not necessarily through the eye of an observer only, but rather through the eye of an individual being observed. So you have to see the very reason for which someone is doing something. You have to analyze those actions, you have to analyze those behaviors in the light of that person's eye, not because of your own understanding. So you have to put your feet into someone else's shoes, and then you have to see that why a specific action or thing has been conducted or designed. Personality in the humanistic approach is studied from the point of view of the individual's subjective experience. And you all remember that subjective experiences always differ from one person to another. Therefore, the humanistic psychology is sometimes called as phenomenological approach. Abraham Maslow, he proposed his theory of human motivation, and the concept of that human motivation is to optimize a person's performance by making him realize his instinct. A person should focus on inner drives which could lead to self actualizations or full capacity of a person. Psychology talked about third force. The third force in psychology stress on achieving needs which are hierarchical and which leads to a self actualization or a true meaning of existence in this world. Through the very beginning, the mankind and the human being is always in the struggle of looking forward to explore one's own self, to find out the meaning of life in yourself, and how things are gonna happen around us, and why we are existing in the current situation, and how we are going to deal with them. These are the questions which often arises in your mind and in my mind, and a person who is going to struggle around them, finding the meaning of all those questions in his own way or in her own way, is basically a person who is realizing his instinct. So the basic assumption, if we look at them in humanistic therapy, an individual's behavior is primarily determined by his or her perception of world around him. Believe me, the perception of world is never going to be the same for many of the people around us. Even if we talk about uh, a number of students sitting in a class, if there are 20 or 30 students in a class who are coming from different cultural backgrounds, who are coming from different family backgrounds, and although they would be of same age, of a same gender, of a same educational background, when we talk to them, we find that the perception of life, the meaning of life, and the things which are going around them, they all carry different meanings for them. So individuals are not at all solely the products of their environment. They are not at all. It's not only the environment which makes them like this, but there is something else which is inside them, their free will, their struggle, their activity in which they are going to find the meaning of life for themselves makes them a different product. Individuals are internally directed and motivated to fulfill their human potential. If we talk about looking so many good people around us who are doing so much for the humanity, for instance, we look forward towards different people who are singly working for the betterment of humanity, and they make different organizations. For instance, let me give you the famous example of Edhi, that he was the only one person who is working towards helping others, and how he ended up. He has made the world largest ambulance service. He made so many other social welfare institutions where a large number of children, women, old people, and the marginalized are being protected. So this was only the feeling or the concern of a one person, and when he put meaning into it, it comes into a realization, and you see that how lots and lots of people are being blessed by his own struggle of life, for which he was basically going to give satisfaction to him, but in return he was helping a lot of people. And there are many other NGOs and many other organizations where people tend to see meaning of life for themselves, but they basically are going to serve the humanity in such a large scale. When we talk about humanistic therapy, that why this therapy is used, it is important to understand that there are many psychological problems such as depression, anxiety, panic disorders, personality problems, obsessive compulsive disorders, and obsessive compulsive personality disorder, and schizophrenia, addiction, and relationship issues, where when you apply the humanistic therapy, it really works. And when people tend to seek the meaning of their life, they realize that why their existence is being important to themselves and to others, many of the problems are going to be solved. There are further different techniques which are used in humanistic psychology, and they are being given into different ways. We will talk about them. Some of them are solution focused brief therapy, transpersonal psychology, transactional analysis, reality therapy, person centered therapy, human givens therapy, and gestalt therapy. Let me give you some information about solution focused therapy. Solution focused therapy is focused on helping you identify and resolve issues quickly and effectively. The core purpose of the solution focused therapy is to provide an instant solution for the problem which triggers anxiety or depression or stress in an individual's mind. Solution focused brief therapy will focus on present experiences instead of trying to analyze or fix the past problems. For instance, if there is a couple who has marital problem, instead of looking into past, that how that problem has been emerged and how we can rectify all the issues and mistakes which were done in the past, the counselor is going to focus on the present issue, and he will provide the therapy and the solution for that very moment, so that the bad experiences which are going to be happening during that incident, they should be resolved, or the conflict resolution for that very moment would be done instead of looking into detailed past, because in some situations we don't have much time to go for the detailed therapy. So solution focused therapy is the best solution in this regard. Transpersonal psychology basically centers around furthering spiritual development and exploring what lies beyond the person. There are many actions and many things which we do just because we have a firm belief about them, because the spiritual instinct is behind that, and we are going to follow that. So transpersonal therapy will help you to explore your spirituality, to find greater purpose in life. But I believe transpersonal psychology could not be done with everyone. Transpersonal psychology is a kind of therapy which could be done with a highly intellectual people who can really work on themselves, who are really interested to explore themselves, and who would have something to look beyond their immediate problems, and then they can explore their spirituality and find the purpose of life. Another important thing is transactional analysis. Transactional analysis explores ego states, which are behaviors learned from childhood that we continue to play out in our adult life. All of you know that there are many, many behaviors which we just learn by hook or crook, by one way or another in our childhood, and we just kept doing that without any rational reason throughout our life. This could be, understand in many, this could be something which we can explain in many ways rather. You can see that, for instance, we see that many of us have a habit of, sleeping in a certain way, and we keep, you know, um, uh, using that thing till we become adult. Or maybe some favorite foods and likes and dislikes, or doing of certain things, and just our daily routine activities, many of them are being learned in a childhood, and as a habit we keep doing that. This therapy will help an individuals to recognize how ego states impact your daily interactions and develop a healthier balance between them. So basically, in childhood, when we learn different habits, there could be some good one and there could be some bad one. And because we are being mastered in that, it becomes very, very difficult for us to create a change. So this therapy is very helpful to recognize that how we can develop a healthier balance by changing those habits, and we can become a better person. So there are the basically two important theorists who talk about humanistic psychology, Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers, and they are widely studied in the field of psychology, and most of the psychology students are well aware of their theories and their ideologies, even at the undergraduate level. So Abraham Maslow, for just a reference, is a co-founder of humanistic therapy and psychology, and he believed that humans are biological driven to achieve self-actualization. We will further about talk about this, that how he talk about the fulfillment of basic needs, and then he talk about some secondary needs, and then he finally talk about achieving the self-actualization. The Carl Rogers is also the co-founder of humanistic psychology, and he uh, presented with the idea of client-centered therapy. Looking at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, we see that he first talk about different needs which are very much required to the human being. He talk about the physiological needs which we, have to fulfill for the survival of ourselves. Then he talk about the security needs, that you need to have the shelter. Like in physiology, you need to have the food, you need to sleep, you need to be, and then for security, you need to be protected. Then you need to have fulfill your social needs. Social needs includes relationship with others, and then your esteem, because it's very, very important to maintain a self-esteem of a person. And then finally he talk about superlative degree of a human, that is self-actualization. And to give you an example, that most highly cited self-actualized person in the history is being cited as Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So basically, this is the stage to which we can reach with all our efforts, with all our possible, efforts in terms of, fulfilling all the needs, or basically, uh, looking forwards beyond that physical, psychological, and physiological needs, we achieve the goal of being self-actualized. Maslow hierarchy of needs talk about self-awareness. We talk about self, which is ideal, and then self-actualization and self-fulfillment. Whereas the person-centered therapy is talk about a holistic approach. He talk about congruence. He talk about empathy. Talk about unconditional positive regard. he talk about conditional positive regard, and he talk about incongruence. Looking at to the strengths of humanistic psychology, I must say that it emphasizes individual choices and responsibilities and satisfies most people's idea of what being human is. It means, like, we have to say that yes, when you reach at the level of self actualization, where you can overcome your desires for all other kind of needs and look beyond your needs, at that stage we can see that yes, you are being actualized at a degree of a human being, that because you're not looking forward towards your own needs only, but you are looking towards the others as well. Provide researcher with flexible framework for observing behavior because it considers the person. Flexibility in observing the human behavior is highly recommended because human behavior is not always the same in all the given situations. So what we have to do, we have to look for, you know, uh, a very flexible in a very flexible way, that in certain situation why the certain behavior has been occurred. Talking about the weakness of humanistic psychology and humanistic therapy, many concepts are still too vague. Experiences can be taken different by different individuals, not a true science because it involves too much common sense and not enough objectivity. If an experience which can be a thrilling one for one individual, it may not at all be a thrilling experience for another person. Other person may be phobic of that experience, you never know. So we cannot, tend to generalize each and everything on all the people around us. So looking at one specific thing and the needs of one specific person, it will take, I think, a lot of time to invest in one person if you are looking for humanistic therapy. But I fully recommend that in many situations, when you are dealing with the people of high intellect, humanistic psychology really helps a lot, and it provides a room to a counselor to give a space to uh, another person who is coming for the therapy to explore his own meaning of life, to explore his own problems, and come up with a solution, that how he or she is interested in resolving them. And by reaching that specific goal, the counselor can definitely be a very helpful individual. So this is all about humanistic psychology, and if you have any questions, you can kindly comment and you can ask about that. uh, Thank you for listening this. uh, we'll come up with some other good presentation.